What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another breaking news episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. I'm your man, Mike, and today we got some news that we were kind of expecting if you're a Commanders fan. Um, Today we just found out that Kliff Kingsbury was mutually let go of his duties today, and also defensive coordinator Joe Whitt was fired today. That one came to no surprise. I don't think anybody is shocked from hearing that Joe Whitt is no longer with the team. However, Kliff Kingsbury, that one, that one kind of surprised me a little bit. I did hear the rumors that he was not getting along with Adam Peters, but I don't really feed into the rumors or whatever is going on or on X or anything. So I didn't really pay those rumors any mind. And especially after the end of the season press conference that we all listened to yesterday, I kind of doubled down on that I didn't think that Kliff was going anywhere. Mainly because Adam Peters mentioned that any communication that goes on with the coordinators is kind of through Dan Quinn. He said that, he speaks to Dan and then Dan kind of runs the entire operation on the football side. So when he mentioned that, I'm like, okay, I'm not really feeding into those rumors that, there are some rumblings that they're not getting along. But now that he's gone, where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe there was some issues as far as Adam Peters and Kliff Kingsbury as far as player management and things like that. And one player's management in particular that I do believe Dan Quinn and Adam Peters had was the utilization of Jaden Daniels. Earlier this season and a lot last season, we had a lot of QB run plays, QB draws. You rarely saw Jaden under center. And I believe that earlier in the season, I believe it was week 3, or when we played Green Bay and Jaden initially had that, he injured his knee. I think that there was conversations with Kliff, either from Dan Quinn or Adam Peters, to let him know, hey, moving forward, kind of want you to change up how you call these type of QB running plays. And I didn't see the offense change much after that game. I didn't see the offense change until Josh Johnson started playing. I didn't see as many QB runs. They did a lot of plays under center and was hitting a lot of play action plays from that. But I do think that there was conversations with Kliff to let him know, hey, we want to protect Jaden. We don't want Jaden out here running around. We want more rushing plays. And in the middle of the season and towards the end, we saw the rushing attack step up. Earlier in the season, the first couple games, our rushing attack was pretty good. Then we saw a dip down. We saw a game here and there, especially that one against the LA Chargers, where Bill had a great game. We saw that one. But, towards the middle end of the season, we saw the rushing attack step up. And I think at one point we were dead even as far as passing plays and run plays for the season. But at the end of the day, we knew Kliff was not going to be here for a long time. We knew that. It seems like as soon as he stepped foot in Washington, we was already hearing that hey, he'll be up for a head coaching job in the season. We was on watch last off season thinking that he may end up leaving. So to hear that he mutually agreed to leave the team um, right now is not that surprising because he was not here for a long time. Um, and at the same time, hey, look, Kliff was our offensive coordinator, but what did our offense really do? Yes, we had injuries. Yes, we had a lot of young players. Yes, Jaden was hurt. But are the 49ers making those excuses? When Brock Purdy didn't play almost the first 8 weeks of the season, they had backups in, Mac Jones. They wasn't making excuses. They're 12 and 4, 12 and 5 this season. No excuse. So, I'm not going to sit here and act like Kliff Kingsbury is the end-all, be-all in offense. I say we find, we have a lot of offensive coordinators on the team right now that we can look to and interview and see, hey, what do you have to offer? I know a lot of them was waiting for their shot. Offensive line coach Bobby Johnson. We have some guys that we can, interview, listen to what their view is of the offense, what new can they bring to the table, but also get some fresh eyes in as well. Not staying stagnant. We want to stay with the fresh and what's new and what's, I don't know, a lot of that offense, there was a few times last season where different players were called, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, why call this bubble screen at this time? Why are we rushing the QB, right now? Right when Jaden was coming back from that injury. I believe it was in that Chargers game. One of the first plays that we ran was a QB draw. It's like, why? So, I just think that we should find someone with some new ideas that can work well with Jaden. And I also think that they should get Jaden's input as well. Don't go into this not hearing from your franchise quarterback on what, he thinks and what he's comfortable with and what he thinks or what he think went wrong last season when he was playing. It wasn't just injuries. That offensive line was not that injured when Jaden was in. We had the starters for pretty much the entire season. So, his receivers and things like that was not in. But as far as protection, he pretty much had that throughout the season. So, that was big news today. Kliff being is moving on from the team. As far as Joe Whitt, we knew Joe Whitt was not going to be here. I thought that since he was buddies with Dan Quinn, they was going to use him in some capacity on the team. He could be Dan Quinn's towel guy, help him with game planning, his assistant, similar how they use Sam Hartman, because Sam Hartman doesn't get on the field. He's just an errand man, setting up certain things. So I thought they was going to use him in that same type of way since he was cool with Dan Quinn. But they did officially move completely on from him today. And it just begs the question of why now? If all you're going to do is cut the man, you could have cut the man 6 weeks ago when Dan Quinn started taking over play calling duties. You probably still had to pay him out anyway of his contract, whatever it was. So why keep him on the team? I didn't get that one, but that's why I thought they was going to utilize him in some type of way moving forward. It wouldn't be called the defensive plays, but I thought they was going to use him to do something. And I feel the same way as far as on the defensive side of the ball. Get some fresh eyes in here. We want figure out what you want to be and what you want to do on defense, and move forward. Don't try to fit a defensive scheme to the players that we have now, because as we all know, what do we have on defense? Y'all about to really have me have a real deeper conversation right now that I wasn't planning on having, just because of how I feel about this roster. But I want to save that for my end of the season recap episode, where we really go in on this team. But just a little quick note, like, what do we have on this defense and on this team? Wagner, I appreciate what you've done your entire NFL career. It's time to move on. Hopefully we let McGee, I doubt it, but hopefully we let McGee had a green dot a few times, so when he is competing to be the starting linebacker, starting Mike next offseason, that he's used to it and he's not really trying to do it for the first few times. Hopefully he was having a Mike, even when he was out there with Wagner, he was the main linebacker giving out the plays. Hopefully they at least did that, but we'll see. Wagner, good luck. Don't need to be on the team. We saw that Luvu took a step back. Last year, both of these players were like second team All-Pro, Pro Bowlers last year. Did it look like that this year? Is it because, to me, last year we was using Luvu as a rusher, similar to what we had to do this year, but he was doing that last year as well. So, is it scheme? To me, they was using him the same way. They was rushing him last year. He had quite a few sacks last year. This year, same thing. We didn't have a pass rush, so they was rushing him to try to get to the quarterback. Were we using him more in that aspect? Probably. But I don't think it changed. What did change was his play, to me. Did he take a step back? Like, did the speed take a dip? These are all questions that Adam Peters is going to have to ask himself and look at the tape and review. Because going into this year, we really thought that we was a couple players away from the Super Bowl. And we see that we're not. We see that we really have to rebuild and gut this team. To me, it should be another cut of players similar to when Adam Peters first arrived. There was a 70 to 75% roster turnover that year. Majority of the players did not make it. I think we only kept maybe 5 or so players. We gutted this team. Kept maybe a few starters here and there. Tressway, Revo, who else? Deron Payne, Terry, and offensive linemen, Cosme, players like that. There was probably 5 or so starters that we kept. To me, it needs to be almost a similar, probably not that drastic, but at least 50%. A lot of players, especially on defense and it's both sides of the ball, do not need to be on this team next year. We were the oldest team this season, and it showed because we was the most injured team as well and the slowest team as well. It showed our depth was put on the spotlight this year on both sides of the ball. We don't have good depth at all. What depth did we have at wide receiver? What depth did we have on the defensive line? Linebacker, secondary. We don't have depth. That's why I'm saying we need to gut this team. We need to rebuild it with our starters and our depth. And that's why we shouldn't look for next season to be like we're back. We won't be back. This isn't a one-off season fix. With what? 6 draft picks, if that? You don't have a second-round pick. You don't have a fourth-round pick. Yes, we have Laramie Tunsil, for that. So, all right, cool. We're not really sweating it right now because he did play very well this season. But it won't be a quick fix. And now, with us starting over on offense, that offense learning a new scheme, defense, who knows if they're going to stay in the 3-4 or whatever. They can switch it up. So with that, expect the team to struggle. Don't expect a quick fix, even if everybody stays healthy. And definitely don't expect a quick fix because we have a lot of holes to fill on this team. Starting with a lot of these vets. I don't want to see them. Got to get some, like Adam Peters said in the press conference, younger, faster talent. But yeah, man. Kliff Kingsbury, gone. Joe Whitt, gone. Who else is next? I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. If it ain't right, I don't want to hear. I'm not here to let it drag on. Coordinators with us for 3, 4, 5 and get a second contract and they're not doing that great. Our offense is either second half or middle pack of the league. I'm not. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to set a new standard. We don't have it yet. Just because we had a one great season don't mean that everybody is up to that standard. We tried to set the standard last year. This year, nobody held on to that standard. We need to get back to it, but it starts with finding the right coordinator. Don't rush. Don't rush because you need to look at everybody. Look at the top offenses in the league and look at the person behind the person running the show. Bring them in. Let's talk to them. On both sides. Find the best defensive and offensive coordinator that you can find and bring them in. All right. Hey, in a couple weeks, I'm probably going to let this ride a little bit unless we get some news. But soon we are going to do our full in-depth look at this season. If you missed it, definitely go back and check out our mid-season report. Our report that we did a few months ago when we was in the middle of the season. I'm sure we are going to have similar things to say from that video because not a lot changed since we last did that State of the Commanders addressed a few months ago. So, yeah, man, as always, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time we go live or we drop another episode, or if new breaking news comes your way. Again, we got a lot to look forward to. We got the wild card weekend coming up, so we are definitely about to drop another video looking more in depth on those games. We got NBA. We got to get into it. We had NFL for a while. Both my Commanders and Kobe's Browns are long gone out of it, so definitely have more time to get into some NBA, get into some bets. Who knows? But drop us some comments. Let us know what you want to hear from us, and let us know what you think. As always, peace.